New York City, the concrete jungle where dreams are made, and where your trip can turn into a nightmare faster than a yellow cab cutting you off in Times Square. Everyone comes here chasing the magic, Broadway lights, Central Park strolls, and Instagram-perfect skyline shots. But let me warn you, one wrong move, and your NYC experience could go from iconic to catastrophic. I've seen first-time visitors lose hundreds of dollars, waste entire days, and walk away saying, "I don't get the hype." And the truth is, it wasn't the city that failed them. It was the mistakes they made. So in today's video, I'm breaking down the biggest New York City travel mistakes that could ruin your trip and how to avoid them. Stick with me, because the final mistake is the one even seasoned travelers keep falling for. Before we dive in, make sure you hit subscribe, because I've got insider NYC tips you won't find in any guidebook. Let me set the stage. A friend of mine, Sarah, flew into New York for her very first visit. She had a bucket list ready: Statue of Liberty, Times Square, Brooklyn Bridge, and maybe even a Broadway show. But within 48 hours, her dream trip started unraveling. She booked a hotel in the wrong neighborhood, paid triple for attractions, wasted hours standing in lines, and ended up eating at restaurants that were overpriced and underwhelming. By the time she left, she swore she'd never come back. But here's the twist: none of that had to happen. Sarah didn't know the unspoken rules of New York. She didn't realize how small mistakes, like where you stay when you visit attractions or even how you move around, can spiral into wasted money and frustration. And that's exactly why I'm making this video. Because New York can either be the most electrifying city you'll ever experience, or a travel disaster you regret. So let's get into the mistakes that ruin trips, and more importantly, how to avoid them. Stay with me until the end, because the last mistake is the one that shocks even lifelong New Yorkers. Number 1. Booking the wrong hotel location. One of the fastest ways to ruin your New York trip? Booking a hotel in the wrong neighborhood. A lot of first-time visitors make the mistake of staying in the cheapest hotel they find, only to realize they're stuck an hour away from the action. Here's the truth: location in New York is everything. Yes, hotels in Midtown Manhattan can feel pricey, but if you stay too far out, say deep in Queens or far uptown in the Bronx, you'll spend half your trip riding subways. And trust me, nothing kills the excitement of your first night in Times Square like realizing it's a 70-minute ride back to your hotel. The sweet spot? Stay in areas like Midtown, Chelsea, or the Lower East Side if you want energy and convenience. For a more local vibe, Brooklyn neighborhoods like Williamsburg or Dumbo are perfect, but know you'll need that subway ride into Manhattan. Pro tip: always calculate both price and travel time. Sometimes paying $40 more per night saves you hours each day. And speaking of saving time, the next mistake is one that will test your patience like nothing else in New York. Number 2. Wasting hours in line. New York City is the land of endless lines. Whether it's waiting for the Statue of Liberty ferry, queuing up for a Broadway show, or even that viral bagel shop you saw on TikTok, lines here can swallow your day whole. I've watched tourists spend 3 hours just waiting to climb to the top of the rock. By the time they get up there, they're tired, cranky, and their whole schedule is thrown off. And here's the kicker: those lines are avoidable. The trick is timing and booking smart. Buy skip-the-line passes for major attractions. Go early in the morning or later at night. For the Empire State Building, hit it after 10 p.m. when crowds thin out and the lights make the city sparkle. For the ferry to the Statue of Liberty, book the first ride out. And when it comes to food, skip the trendy Instagram-famous spots with hour-long waits. The best slice of pizza or bagel often comes from a no-frills corner shop with zero line and way more authenticity. But lines aren't the only trap. The next mistake will burn a hole in your wallet faster than a Fifth Avenue shopping spree. Number 3. Blowing your budget on taxis and Ubers. I get it. After a long flight, grabbing a taxi from JFK feels like the easiest option. But here's the hard truth. taxis and Ubers in New York will drain your budget faster than you think. A ride from JFK to Manhattan, easily 80 to 100 with tolls and tip. And if you're relying on ride shares to hop around the city, those little $25 trips add up quickly. Before you know it, you've spent the cost of a Broadway ticket just getting from Soho to Central Park. The subway, on the other hand, is your best friend. A single ride is $2.90, and with a Metro card or Omni Tap, you can go literally anywhere. Plus, it's faster during rush hour. While cars sit stuck in gridlock, trains keep moving. If you're nervous about navigating the subway, download apps like Citymapper or Google Maps. They'll guide you stop by stop. Want a bonus hack? If you're traveling with a group, sometimes splitting a yellow cab is cheaper than Uber. Just remember, avoid the guys shouting "taxi, taxi" at the airport. That's a scam. And while money mistakes hurt, the next one could ruin your trip emotionally. Number 4. Only visiting tourist traps Times Square. The Statue of Liberty. The Empire State Building. Yes, they're iconic. But if your entire trip is just tourist attractions, you'll miss the soul of New York. I can't tell you how many travelers I've met who leave saying, "It was crowded, expensive, and overwhelming." That's because they never stepped off the beaten path. They never explored Greenwich Village's jazz bars, or Brooklyn's waterfront parks, or Queens' unbeatable food scene. Tourist traps also overcharge. A pretzel in Times Square? Savada. The same pretzel in a neighborhood cart? $3 and usually fresher. Don't get me wrong, see the big attractions, but balance them with hidden gems. Take a walk on the High Line at sunset. Explore the food markets in Williamsburg. Wander into a random jazz club downtown. That's where the real magic of New York lives. And speaking of magic, there's one mistake that makes travelers feel like they've lost all of it. Number 5. Poor planning and overstuffed schedules. Here's the classic rookie mistake, trying to do everything in 3 days. I've seen travelers with itineraries that look like military operations. Statue of Liberty at 9 a.m., Central Park by 11, Brooklyn Bridge at 1, Broadway show at 3. It's chaos. New York is a city that needs breathing room. The best memories come when you stumble upon a street performer in Washington Square Park, or when you linger over a coffee in a neighborhood cafe. If you're rushing from one attraction to the next, you'll miss those moments. Instead, pick 2 big things per day. Leave the rest open. Trust me, the city will fill in the gaps with surprises. And one more thing, always plan for delays. Subways run late, lines take longer, weather shifts fast. Build in flexibility so your trip doesn't fall apart. Because if you don't, the next mistake will get you, and it's one even savvy travelers make. Number 6. Underestimating NYC weather. New York weather is unpredictable. One moment it's sunny, the next you're sprinting for cover under a thunderstorm. And winter? Brutal wind tunnels between skyscrapers that will freeze you to the bone if you're unprepared. I've seen tourists shivering in shorts during an April cold snap, and others drenched because they thought a light jacket was enough in October. The key is layers and preparation. Always pack a compact umbrella. In summer, bring water and sunscreen. Those subway platforms feel like saunas. If you're visiting in winter, don't underestimate the wind chill. A 40-degree day can feel like 20 when you're walking down 6th Avenue. Why does this matter? Because bad weather ruins schedules. Missed ferries, canceled plans, wasted tickets, it adds up. Always check the forecast and build flexible options. But as tough as weather can be, the final mistake might just be the biggest heartbreak of all. Number 7. Skipping Broadway or unique NYC experiences. New York is the capital of once-in-a-lifetime experiences. And yet, I've seen travelers skip Broadway shows because they thought tickets were too expensive, or avoid unique experiences like a rooftop bar, a Yankees game, or a late-night jazz club. The mistake here is thinking you can do it next time. For some people, there is no next time. If you're in New York, make time for at least one experience you can't get anywhere else. Broadway doesn't have to cost a fortune. Apps like TodayTix or standing in line at TKTS can score you half-price tickets. Rooftop bars often have free entry if you go early. And trust me, watching the skyline from a rooftop at night is a memory that sticks with you forever. So yes, see the landmarks. But don't leave without one experience that feels uniquely New York. Otherwise, you'll regret it. So there you have it, the biggest mistakes travelers make in New York City and how to avoid them. From booking the wrong hotel to blowing your budget on taxis, from wasting hours in lines to skipping the magic of Broadway, it all comes down to this. New York rewards the prepared, but it punishes the careless. The city can either be chaos or charm. It can overwhelm you, or it can inspire you. The difference is knowing the unspoken rules. And now you do. So when you come to New York, don't just survive it, own it. Wander the hidden neighborhoods, ride the subway with confidence, eat like a local, and make space for unforgettable experiences. And if this video saved you from even one mistake, do me a favor. Hit like, subscribe, and share this with a friend who's planning their trip. Because the only thing better than experiencing New York right is helping someone else avoid the mistakes that ruin it. Your New York adventure starts now. Make it count.